The Red Turtle is a co-production, a Japanese-European co-production, Studio Ghibli and Wild Bunch over here. There were stories that Ghibli had kind of completely run its creative course after a series of what looked like swan songs. And then at Cannes last year, this movie was unveiled, directed by Michael Dudok de Wit, who is a Dutch animator based here, film which is a French-Belgian-Japanese co-production.
Wow.
And the story is, at the beginning, we see the aftermath of a shipwreck, a man in a boat who is washed up on a desert island. The film is wordless. There is sound and music and occasional cries, hey, but no words. So it's tapping very much into that silent cinema universality thing. I remember having a conversation with Mike Figgis, who I did an onstage thing with just recently, and Mike Figgis saying this thing that stuck with me so much. He said that when migrants arrived in America in the days of silent cinema, they would be shown how life in America worked by being shown a silent film. And Figgis always said that once sound was developed and language was developed, film became culture specific and it lost its universality. And what this film does is to reclaim that universality because it has no spoken language. So anyway, he's on the island. The island is part Eden, part Inferno. It is beautiful, looks like a whale in profile, but it is also a carnivorous island of scuttling crabs picking carrion from the sea, of birds feeding upon the crabs, of insects and spiders feeding upon insects. And initially he wants to get away and he builds rafts to get away, but the rafts are constantly scuppered by an unseen sea beast, which turns out to be the turtle. The turtle is then on the shore and in a rage he overturns the turtle. And then he starts to feel a sort of Ancient Mariner-style remorse and empathy for this creature that he has overturned. And then something magical starts to happen. A transformation starts to happen. If you think of a film like Miyazaki's Ponyo, or you think of Song of the Sea, or even you think of, Ron Howard's Splash, essentially a transformation starts to happen, and the whole film then becomes a sort of universal look at the synopsis of the film. Official synopsis of the film is the milestones in the life of man. And it sounds like an unbelievably sort of broad canvas. And somehow the film manages to be exactly that. It turns into a meditation upon existence, upon loneliness, upon companionship, upon birth, death, and rebirth. And it manages to be all these things in a way which combines old cinema, silent cinema with, sound effects and absolutely superb music, which blends so beautifully with the sound effects. It is a film in which there is an element of fantasy, a very, very strong element of fantasy, and yet it is absolutely rooted in an island that you believe in a reality that you believe in. It is a film which has extraordinary lyrical colour, orange sunsets, grey, blue waves rising against charcoal skies, and then in its nighttime sequences almost becomes monochrome, as if it's becoming a history of cinema with pearlescent moonlight shining in a way that it's almost taking you back to the origins of cinema. It is a film which is deeply compassionate and touching and funny and affectionate and insightful. And I was in love with it. I just was so swept away by it. And as we move towards the end of the film, and as the film becomes more profound and more to do with aging and also so many other things, I found myself crying. And I don't mean just crying like, but I mean like properly crying. It's a work of art. It is a beautiful, beautiful work of art. And I think it has genuinely universal appeal. And I think it is a film which touches the very essence of what cinema can do and manages to do it by looking back over the history of cinema, and it makes animation seem more real than what we refer to as real life action. And it's called The Red Turtle, and I would encourage everybody to see it because it is just magnificent.